Last week we were at Rapier Wit talking about how fight directors and fight choreographers research for their fight sequences that they create. This week we talked to Todd about his favorite sword, and we even get to see it in action.
So here we are at the armory, and we have all of these lovely swords to choose from, but I want to know, which one's your favorite?
This is my newest, so this is my new favorite. This is a sword. This is somewhere between 1530 and 1570. It's in the Italian style, from the Italian school that's known as the Bolognese school. And the Bolognese school was a cut and thrust school. So as opposed to the rapier, which is more of a thrusting weapon that you can make a cut with, this was a true cut and thrust blade. And I've recently done some work with an historical martial artist who has been recreating this system, and so I had to have one made. And this is from a historical piece. I can't remember which museum this sword sits in, but the hilt was copied by a gentleman in the States. And then I had a gentleman here who makes aluminum blades for me build me one in the style of a Bolognese blade. So fairly wide, but tapers to a really acute point.
And an aluminum blade, is there any pros and cons to any different type of metal that you're going to use?
I'm a huge fan of aluminum, and my reasoning for that is that everyone I've ever spoken with or trained with who's gone to a museum and handled the real thing and knows the style that they're supposed to be doing with that sword tells me that when you're using the sword in the manner it was meant to be used, the swords of that period feel feather light. They feel absolutely like nothing. Like you just think and they move where you want them to go. And we don't have anything today in steel that replicates that. The other problem is that we don't want a sharp sword, so we want something that's got enough of an edge that you're not going to actually hurt anyone. And that puts weight on it. So if you have a steel sword with that much edge thickness all the way down the blade, it's a little too sluggish and a little too heavy in the hand. So I prefer aluminum because I feel that even though it is lighter than the real thing, it better replicates the feel of the sword.
Cool. Yeah. Now I want to see your fave, your new baby, in action.
Okay, cool. This solo form comes from an anonymous manual that was published in 1550. As you can see, the style incorporates a lot of circular movement of the blade, which would either be directed at the arm or face or body of the opponent, or to deflect their blade away, opening myself up for a secondary attack.
Thanks for showing us those awesome sword skills, Todd. And thank you, Cookies, for watching this episode. Tune in next week for more noms for your noggin. Remember, Cookies, these are trained professionals that know exactly what they're doing because they've gone through years of training. So don't try this stuff at home. In fact, you should try this stuff at Rapier Wit in Toronto. If you like what we do here at Cranium Cookie and would like to help us make more, look for the link in the description box to consider supporting future episodes.